Welcome to Karibu Anawim's program, 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk, where we explore topics related to living with a facial disfigurement. This program is for you, your loved ones, for educational purposes and professionals who would like to know more about living with facial disfigurement. Our presenters have lived experience, research background, or work with people living with facial disfigurement. It's important to begin the conversation with terminology that society understands and is clear. We use the word disfigurement as it is the medical and legal terminology. We recognise you may identify with other words such as visible difference or with your own diagnosis. Let's see where the conversation goes. So pull up a seat, grab a cuppa, and let's chat around the table with Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk.
Let's see whether or not I've stopped the loop. Sometimes I don't, and today I did. Hi, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. This month, we have been talking about the importance of educating others. Last week, we had the importance of educating us and using the 4+1 strategy. That is, smile, say hi, think the person in front of you is intelligent, give a genuine compliment, and then if you need to, and if you're very confident to, or you would like to, offer your truth pack story. This week, we're talking about something that's very dear to my heart, and that is educating schools. Wait a sec, can I go over and find my banners for the first question? Hang on. Work. There you go. Well, is educating schools necessary, you might ask? And I will have to say yes, a very big yes. It is important many different ways. It's important for a person living with a facial disfigurement or a facial difference. It's very important for siblings who live with a brother or sister living with a facial disfigurement, or children that live with a father or a mother or a caregiver living with a facial disfigurement. So me and my child, me and my family, or me and my mother. Yeah. So that brings us to, what is my experience? Well, my background is in teaching, okay? So I have been a primary school and special needs teacher in the past. And at the moment, I'm doing some guest lecturing at university as well. So my experience of primary and secondary school were abominable. That's it, absolutely atrocious. I was bullied. I had lots and lots of different issues in primary and secondary school, and you would think that it would have stopped in tertiary ed, yeah? But it didn't. My first undergrad, well, I've only done one bachelor, and then I've gone on further. And then I've done a master's, and then I've done a PhD. But in my undergrad, with a Bachelor of Education, would you believe that over half of my teaching rounds, I had teachers explain to me either that I needed to think again because whether or not I was entering into the right profession. I had other teachers say to me, and going to write on the report, that they didn't think that I was going to be able to see enough to be able to teach. And mind you, none of which actually focused, all of it focused around my appearance and never about the fact that I didn't have anything to, nothing to do with actually being able to educate and have got any, did I have any classroom management issues? No. Did I have any curriculum and progression of what's it called? What I've done now, lesson plans. No, none of that was ever taken into consideration, or any part of it. Like, there was nothing wrong with the way that I knew my curriculum and I presented my lessons. It was all about my appearance. And then working as a teacher, would you believe that it was explained to me, would you believe, that I would be an excellent special ed teacher because of my natural empathy, because of my face. Again, it was all about appearance and not about whether or not I could teach or anything. So that's just my experience. And then in my PhD, I had one beautiful woman, well, two really, but one main one, my PhD supervisor, Professor Jane Southcott, who had to back me a few times, and back me in privately as well, throughout my PhD as well. Not because I couldn't do it, not because I wasn't doing it, but because of other issues, as well as my eyesight and my appearance. So why do we want to educate the school? Well, you then get to share your story the way that you choose, either for yourself or for your child or for your children that have a child living with a facial disfigurement. They need it, but they will not necessarily ask for it, especially if it is seen as slight. If you've got like a drooping eyelid such as me, or a little birthmark or something like that, something that is so little, but it can be huge. Yeah. And so therefore you need to be proactive with schools, because schools won't necessarily ask, and you are to help share with them how you would like them to help you, and give them words or sentences in which they could use to assist. It also empowers them to know what the right thing to do is, or to help you, or to have a go at what would help and what wouldn't help. That's all very flexible. And you have to be persistent and consistent, okay? Yearly go in and update and tell the new set of teachers. It doesn't matter whether or not you bring them up to date. It doesn't matter whether or not you've got any new information to give them. But even if you don't have any new information to give them, you can just say, well, I've researched and there's no more new information this year. However, can we reiterate, or can I reiterate what we've done in the past that has worked, and what I'd like to choose to do differently this year? And be that parent that goes in and speaks up for your child, because your child's life literally could just depend on it, really. I can't emphasize that enough. Later on, this is going to be a bit triggering maybe for some people, but it is real. I'll explain later, but speak up. Even if you are the one that's living with a facial disfigurement and your children are getting bullied because of your face, this is what I've called in my doctoral findings second generation discrimination. That's what I've coined the phrase as, where, for example, a person living with a facial disfigurement has a child without a facial disfigurement, and the child without a facial disfigurement is being bullied because of their parents' face. How to educate your school. Go in armed with relevant literature about the diagnoses, if you've got one. Ask for a fact sheet from your medical practitioner. Make up one yourself. Find websites and email those links to the appropriate teachers. Educate teachers and staff and other people, principals and assistant principals and wellbeing people about your child's diagnosis. Ask for an appointment to see them face to face and go in yearly to advocate for your child. And if your child has got if your child has got bullying issues or any other issues that pertaining to their visual appearance, then you go in and see them more regularly. Yeah. Educate students and about your child, and you or your child can go through pictures, stories. You know, for example, I've got a few. Hang on. Where are they? For example, for primary school, yeah. This is a story about two girls fighting cancer. Another one is a little superhero fights cancer. Another one is, they're all about cancer at the moment. I've just been to a thing, and this is a beautiful thing of what is cancer, just so therefore the children can know what is cancer and what happens, and that can be an educative thing. And then even to the point of wearing glasses. Wow, I can see clearly now is a book about my eyes and the steps my parents and I are taking to correct my eyesight. And then for older generation ones, older kids from, I don't know, mid-primary to early secondary, there's a right high pineapple, which is, I'll read you the end, which is from my friend Jenny Woosley, who actually lives with a craniofacial syndrome called Crissons. And Izzy Burgess is in Year 9 at Pinaroo High. She hoped that this year would be different, but it's turning out to be just as bad as Year 8 was. Follow Izzy through her journal as she tries to deal with the beast, who calls her froggy eyes, fish face, and other cruel names, bouts of paralysing anxiety, feeling ugly, friendship ups and downs, and a crush on Tim, the cutest boy in her class. Can Izzy's passion for skating help her? And if you're in tertiary education, because really it doesn't stop, okay? It may not stop at primary or secondary school. You could get Flashback Girl, which is one of a few people's, and I've got another one, but I haven't got it. It's by David Roach. He's written a few, but that might be also of benefit for tertiary education. So basically, you know, with those books, you can get them. You can loan them to the school. You can request the school to purchase them. You can gift the school of them, or you can make up your own story with your child as the hero or the super sleuth, as the detective, yeah? Or you could reach out to us at Karibu Anawim, you know, point them to us, create a dialogue between us and the school, because we provide professional development for teachers, awareness training for children, and parental support for you guys to assist in how to advocate for your family or yourself with other people or other parents in the school. And we at Karibu Anawim, currently we recommend education done by parents and caregivers to be done on a yearly basis, from kindergarten right through, including secondary school, even though they may not wish for you to do it, but you can do it. You can do it still. So, what are the possible consequences if schools are not educated? Well, your child could be more likely than not, unfortunately, this is just reality, bullied. Yeah. And I've got some stats here that I'm going to read to you. In primary school, did the school know about the bullying? Over 50% said yes. Did they stop? Did the school do anything about the bullying? Less than 20% said yes, they did. Did they succeed in stopping the bullying? Nearly 95% of the people surveyed said no, they didn't. And over 84% said they did not feel supported by the school. So even if you've done all these things that I have said and suggested, and we're suggesting, these are pretty stark comments. These are pretty stark things. And the last one, which might be very hard for us to swallow, is that in September this year, 2024, over in America, a 14-year-old teenager died by suicide because of the bullying that she endured, the relentless bullying, and it wasn't because of her facial disfigurement. It was because her mum was recovering from a complex brain surgery that actually, in the article, they had an article of the girl and the mum, and the mum just looked like me. Yeah, she had a drooping eye, and I think she'd have third nerve palsy because of the way that her eye looked out a little bit. I don't know whether or not she's dealing with third nerve palsy, but I do know that her eyelid was closed. And that was enough for the relentless bullying and the decision for her child to take her own life. So this is very serious. Can be very serious. If you don't have anyone to reach out to us at Karibu Anawim. Because that was the possible side effects, or consequences. And to please remember that it's okay not to be okay. And also remember practice some self-care, because this has been a very big, heavy session today. And I'm not pulling any punches with you, because this is just reality, and we need to change it for ourselves and our community. And the way that we do that is to advocate for ourselves very, very strongly and loudly, time and time again. Now, for this month, we have been practicing the 4-7-8 breathing technique. And this breathing technique is said to help reduce anxiety and those racing thoughts, may help you fall asleep and stay asleep. It relaxes you and activates the parasympathetic nervous system responsible for relaxation and may help reduce stress levels. So let's do it 4 times, because I've read that 4 cycles of this is enough to trigger and reset things. So find a comfy seat and let's do this together. We inhale to the count of 4. We hold our breath to the count of 7, and then we exhale through our nose or our mouth, doesn't matter which one, to the count of 8. We might just do that twice, just for time's sake today. Ready? We're going to inhale to 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that feels good. I want to keep going. Do you? Thank you very much for joining us. Next week is our monthly question and answer time. So please write in, email, drop us a line, your questions for this month. So thank you very much for coming. And I'm just queuing up some things. And see you same time next week. Bye.
By golly gosh, it's the end of Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember that all information given during this episode is for general application only. If you have any specific medical issues, as always, consult with your medical practitioner. Like, subscribe and share on whatever platform you find us on. For more information, please connect with Karibu Anawim on our website at karibuanawim.com or email us at inquiries@karibuanawim.com.